All right, we are ready for set 4 of vocabulary. This week, I feel like you're going to have, or I guess the next couple weeks, I think you're going to know quite a few of these. Some of these are going to be brand new. I feel like last set, most of us knew most of the words. This one, there's going to be a few that you don't, but there's still going to be some that you've heard too. So remember, you can always come back to this video to study if you would like to use this to study, but this should be at least one of the first times that you're seeing these words to get introduced to these words. So let's just go through them really quickly. Accurate. So when something is accurate, it just really means correct. It's without mistakes, doesn't have errors. Giving a correct reading or measurement, you want to accurately measure if you are, seeing how long something is. When you guys are working in math, you want to make sure that you're accurately measuring. Maybe when you're doing like area, volume, those kinds of things. When you're building something, you want to make sure it's accurate. So just being correct. Approximate is kind of close. It's not exact, but it's close enough to be reasonable. So if you think of approximate when you were doing in math, when you do estimates, estimates are approximate. So it's not exact, it's not accurate, but it's close to it. Course. A course is just the path that you're going over. A course could be like the way you're acting or behaving, or it can be a subject that you're studying. So a course might be, if you think of like a golf course, right? You're going around the course. It could be like a path through, if you went to camp, the paths that we went on, the oak forest, the pine forest, that's a course that you could move through. Also reading or math or writing, those are courses or subjects that you can study. Depart just means to leave, to go away from. You may hear of like departures at the airport, so it just means to leave. Despair means to lose hope, a total lack of hope. So despair isn't just I'm sad. Despair is even farther than that. It's just complete loss of hope. I would imagine that maybe if you had survived some terrible like weather, so like a hurricane or a tsunami or those kinds of things, people may have felt this way at some point. A total loss of hope of something. Hopefully, we don't feel this way very often in our lives, but there are times, where life is tough and this happens. So despair, loss of hope. Destination just means the place that you're getting to. So if your destination is the recess, the playground, then that's where you're headed to, right? Deteriorate just means to make or become worse, to break down. This picture says it all, like the paint on the outside of the house was deteriorating. It was kind of falling away, becoming worse and worse, getting worse and worse. A gale is a very, very strong wind or a loud outburst. So if we go back to like that hurricane, that tsunami, or you may hear sometimes like on the Weather Channel or people describing gale force winds. Gale just means a very, very strong wind. The horizon, you may have heard the word horizontal before. The horizon is just that distance. It's that line in the distance. It's where like the land and the sky or the sea and the sky meet. And that's a good way to remember horizontal means like straight across because that's where the horizon is. Jubilation, I love this word, and not only is it a fun word to say, but it's a good word. It means feeling or expressing great joy. It's almost the opposite of despair. So lots and lots of joy. So whatever would bring you joy, jubilation, maybe it's waking up on Christmas morning, maybe it's getting to see family members that you haven't seen in a long time, maybe it's playing your favorite game or reading your favorite book. Whatever gives you great joy, that's you would express it with some jubilation. Navigate. We've talked about this with our explorers. Our explorers would have to navigate, so would our Native Americans. It's to calculate or direct the movement. So this says a ship or an aircraft, but you can navigate yourself through anything too. So it's just directing your movement, how you want to move to a certain place. Nostalgia. Nostalgia is a longing for a certain time in the past. So maybe there is a song or a TV show or something that makes you think of when you were younger and you kind of, think back on that and it makes you happy. That's longing for that certain time in the past. That's something that's nostalgia. Maybe you've heard of something being nostalgic or reminding you of when you were younger. Revive just means to bring back and make strong again, or to bring back into use or fashion. So if you revive, obviously a person can be revived, but maybe sometimes styles. That has happened a lot right now. There's a lot of things that are currently in style that were in style in the 90s, so those fashion choices have been revived just to make strong again. Sever. Sever means to break off or to cut into, so you might sever, in this picture we've got like a ribbon, right? You might sever the paper from one another. You can also mean to like, sometimes you may hear sever ties, which means you're no longer talking to that person, communicating to that person, communicating or visiting that certain place. You sever ties with that person or that group. And then finally, voyage. If we go back to our explorers, right, it's a long journey in sea, in space, on land, really even. So a voyage is just a long journey, to make a long journey someplace. So you have lots of ways to study. You can create your own flashcards. You've got this video. You can go to Quizlet, where I am right now, and study using all of the tools there. I'll have links to quizzes that you can use. Any other way that you could think to study, go for it. We've got 2 weeks before you'll take this quiz. Like I said, you can always come back and revisit this video if you'd like. Make sure that you're studying at home and that you will be ready for the quiz.